all you amazing ladies here. Thank you for joining Motorayo. Thank you, Mutanu, Peculiar, Richard, Rita, Adeumi, Sally, Sarah, Sheila, Shelley, Stacy, Rosalind, Joy. Thank you all so much for joining. It's really, really great to have you all here today. Today is our maiden International Women's Day conference, and it's so amazing. It's so beautiful. We're so proud to bring you this conference because we believe that it's going to be a transformational event for you. It's packed full with amazing speakers. We have beautiful technical workshops ahead, and we have our very first virtual networking event happening tomorrow right here on Zoom. So thank you all once again for joining. And before I go forward, I'd like to quickly introduce our moderator for today. Her name is Peculiar Richard. Thank you, Peculiar, for joining us. And also to mention that we're partnering with Mama's Mind for this event. Peculiar Richard is the co-founder of Mama's Mind. And when she comes up, she would share more about Mama's Mind and what they do, their passion for women's health. Now, in the meantime, I'd like to bring Peculiar on stage quickly before we proceed. Peculiar, please unmute your mic.
Hi everyone. Good morning.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
It seems, oh, awesome. She's here now. Good morning. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much. Great to have you.
Okay. You can go ahead. I just wanted you to introduce yourself, Peculiar, before we go ahead.
Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining this amazing event. Thank you, Ayama, to you and your team, and for having us here. My name is Peculiar Richard, and I'm the co-founder of Mama's Mind by Mama Health. Mama's Mind is a digital platform that we have designed to support new and expectant African moms, navigating through postpartum depression or prenatal mood and anxiety disorders. What we do mostly is to offer these moms access to healthcare professionals and other resources where they can navigate this journey without facing any more difficulties, or at least very limit small difficulties. So the platform is fully online and it is accessible from anywhere. We also offer other services like I mentioned, like resources. And this includes learning resources and mood tracker, where mothers can track their mood without even saying any single word. Yes, that's a brief overview of Mama's Mind. And in the coming months, we're going live with Mama's Mind to reach as much moms as possible, starting from Africa. Thank you so much for having me again. Your microphone is muted.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Peculiar. Now that we know you, I'd like us to move ahead with the program. We're starting with an opening ceremony, and that will be taken by me. And I'm just going to do a quick introduction of MumsWhoCode, what we do, what our passion is, what's our mission, right? So MumsWhoCode is a platform that was designed for women, especially mothers, who are looking to get into tech. Whether you're looking to get into coding or you're looking to get into design or data, MumsWhoCode was actually set up for you. But at the beginning, when we started in 2020 during COVID, we actually wanted to bring women together, women who wanted to learn how to code, women with children who wanted to learn how to code. And we started just by making a post on Twitter, and we're able to get about 9 women who joined us at that time. And on our WhatsApp group, we just talk amongst ourselves, share resources, guide ourselves, right? We were all like newbie, fresh, learning HTML, CSS, and that was how we started. And fast forward to 2021, we got to host our very first Digital Women Bootcamp which sought to bring in other tech skills, not just coding skills. We started looking at, oh, not every woman wants to learn how to code. Some people want to be in design. Some people want to be in data. Some people want to be in digital marketing. And these choices are all valid, right? And so we started the MumsWhoCode Digital Women Bootcamp. And then we had, I think our first cohort, we had about 349 women who signed up to join the bootcamp. And it was proudly sponsored by our donor then, or our donor organization called Tech Impact Club Africa, right? So they gave us our very first grant. We started the program. And fast forward to 2023, we have hosted 6 cohorts of the Digital Women Bootcamp. We've had over 3,000 women enroll. We've had a lot of women graduate from the program. We've had women who started businesses just by completing this 8-week program, right? We've also had women get into internship, and the testimonies have just been amazing. We provide fundamental skills to help women launch into careers in technology. That's what we have been doing since 2020. And we're so proud for the first time to bring you this International Women's Day conference. Now, what's the International Women's Day conference? I know we'll hear a lot about International Women's Day on the news, right, in the media. It's a day that has been set aside to celebrate women's achievements, and not just achievement economically, but achievement in terms of political, social issues. And for us at MumsWhoCode, we looked at it like there are so many ways that we as individuals or we as organizations can tap in to promote gender equality, right, for women, to bridge the digital or the gender divide for women. And how can we come in as MumsWhoCode as a tech platform? And we decided, why not host this conference? Why not have a platform where women can not just come and speak, but in speaking, they are also showing themselves, and they are being celebrated for what they have been able to achieve over the last years. And so that's why we have convened this program with inspiring speakers, with technical workshops, with a networking session that we believe will be highly impactful to everyone who attends. Now, before I go forward, I want to take a pause and ask every one of us to introduce ourselves in the chat. I have done an introduction, and I didn't mention my name, but my name is Arama Jisuobo. So I want everyone to introduce themselves in the chat. Please type your name, what you do, where you're joining us from. Please put it in the chat. I know that tomorrow is the networking session, but I believe that we can start up this event by actually getting to know, having a glimpse into who and who is in this room with us today. So please, let's go ahead, put it in the chat. Just tell us where you're joining from, what your name is, what you do, and where you're joining us from today. Please put it in the chat. And I'll be reading a few out. Thank you. So we have, oh, this is beautiful. We have Olubunmi Fred Otite. She's the founder of Brighton and Build the Teens Foundation, and she's joining us from Lagos. Amazing. Olubunmi is also one of our speakers at this event, and she'll be speaking tomorrow. So make it a date. We have Shelly Fantastic. She's the founder, CEO of SheFarm Pro. She's joining us from the UK. It's amazing. Shelly is the keynote speaker for this event. We also have Afola Catherine, an educator, and she's joining from Akure, Nigeria. We have Amanda from South Africa. Amanda is a monitoring and evaluation officer. Amazing. We have Faith Okolo joining from Ogun State. Faith is a product design coach at UTIVA, and she's also an alumni of the Digital Women Bootcamp that was held in 2022. Amazing. Thank you for joining, Faith. And so we have Sally from Kenya. Sally is looking to learn data analysis and digital marketing, but she's currently a mental health advocate. We have Kelly Asu, program manager at Tech Impact Club Africa. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us here today. Like I mentioned earlier, Tech Impact Club gave us our very first grant to run the Digital Women Bootcamp. So if we have 346 thereabouts women who took part in that program, that means that Tech Impact Club directly, right, funded the digital empowerment of these 340 plus women. Jennifer Kialo, she's one of our speakers today. She's a psychologist and founder of Safe Space Arena. She's tuning in from Nairobi. We have Roslyn Serem from Mombasa. She's joining in from Kenya, and she works at Web Focus Solutions. We have Lavi. She's a graphic designer from Nairobi. We have Ifoma Adetoimbo. She's a lecturer and she's joining from Ogun State. Thank you so much, Ifoma, for joining us here today. Ifoma is my friend, by the way. And we have Sheila from Kenya. She's a quality assurance analyst. We have Rafia Jibulu joining from Uyo. We have Stacy from South Africa. She's a beginner in the tech industry. That's amazing. Great to have you here. We have Adizat Abdulhakim, who is a software engineer in Lagos. So Kem says, hello, mamas. I'm Kemi Babashola, joining from Lagos. She's a web designer. Beautiful. Thank you, Rita Adewumi, for joining us. You're a data analyst joining from Ogun State. And we have Grace Mutanu joining from Kenya, who is a psychologist. Amazing. Good to know that we have two psychologists here today. We have Osargwe Amayabo. She's the founder of Africa Integrated Agricultural Network, and she's joining in from Benin City, Nigeria. That's my sister, by the way. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joy. Okay, we have Joy Folaromi, who's a technical support engineer, and she's looking forward to learning data science. Thank you. We have Adeola, AMRO support officer from Lagos, Motunra Akinshikbe from Lagos. She's a final year student of computer science. This is so amazing. It's so lovely to see every one of you today. Thank you, Dumebi, for joining us. Thank you so, so much. Now I'm going to go to the next item in our opening ceremony. This is still the opening ceremony. Just keep dropping your introductions in the chat. I'm sure we're going to get to it at some point. And then we have people in the chat reading, getting to know you also. And also, like I said, I know the networking is tomorrow, but we can also just get started start noting, like you've seen someone who's a psychologist, and I'm like, okay, great. Oh, we have two psychologists here. I might reach out. So beautiful. We're moving on to the next, like I said, and in the next, we are going to do something quite fun, aside the introductions that we have done, right? I said the International Women's Day is a day that is set aside to celebrate the accomplishment, the achievements of women in different areas of life. Now, I know that being here today, personally, I'll say that being here today took a lot, right? Being able to sit in this virtual room today and make this opening ceremony actually took a lot from me. So it's something that I have accomplished. Is a combination, right, of what I have been up to over the last 3 weeks, right? So we actually planned this event in 3 weeks, right? And I believe that for a lot of women here in this room today, over the last 3 weeks, you have accomplished something that you probably thought about a month or two ago that you wouldn't be able to achieve, right? And so that's what we're going to have for our icebreaker this morning. We're not just getting to know our names, but we're also getting to know the strength that we have. We're also getting an opportunity to celebrate our resilience, right, as women, not just as women in tech, but as women in different sectors of life all over the world. So please put it in the chat. What's one thing that you accomplished in the last 3 weeks that you are so proud of? It could be something as maybe you consistently made your bed in the morning for the last 3 weeks. It could be something as simple as that, right? It could be that you stayed hydrated consistently for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or even the last 1 week. It's something to celebrate. So please put it in the chat. We want to read them. We want to read them. What's that thing that you are so proud of that you have accomplished within the last 3 weeks? Oh, beautiful. Amazing. So we have Sally. Sally says she did a detox diet for 1 week. Still ongoing, not easy. Let's celebrate Sally in the chat. Please celebrate Sally. Raise that emoji. Let's see your reactions. Let's celebrate Sally for that. Well done, Sally. Well done for doing a detox. It's not easy. It's not easy. Well done. Okay, so we have Shelly. Shelly says that she was invited to join you all here today. Yes, I actually reached out to Shelly to be the keynote for today's event, and Shelly is proud of that. Well done, Shelly. It's good. And thank you for accepting to give the keynote. Okay, so we have catching up with schoolwork, currently studying data science. Beautiful. Well done. iPhone user, could you rename so we get to know who is in the chat? Thank you. Awesome. Ada says she achieved a tech advocacy drive for girls. Beautiful. We have Choma Mwanya. She's one of my friends. She came in to the Digital Women Bootcamp, and we have stayed in touch since then. She has also returned to MumsWhoCode Digital Women Bootcamp to mentor women in data analysis. So it's great to see your comment here, Choma. Choma says she maintained learning streaks on Data Camp and Duolingo. Now, Data Camp is one, but Duolingo is on another level, right? So congratulations and well done, Choma. Well done. Well done. That's a lot. Consistency in my workout exercise. Yes. How many of us how many of us actually tell ourselves we will work out and it just happens and nothing and we're not able to keep up, right? So well done, Lois, well done. I have Motunrayo Akinshik, but she said I consistently drove. I am a new driver. That's beautiful. Well done, well done. I'm proud of you. Well done. We have Faith. Faith Okolo says, well, for me, it's been mindful and being conscious of my health. Well done. This is very important. And it's so great that we have one of our speakers here today who will be telling us about well-being for techies. Great, great. Resting. Rafiat said resting and she resumed data analytics class. Well done. Osasu Aifowa says, I just had a baby a month ago while having a 2-year-old toddler to manage. I started my MSc program in reproductive health 1 week ago and a child safety course 2 weeks ago. I am amazed how I juggle it. Wow. That's something, right? I actually I can feel goosebumps, right? That's something. That's a lot. That's a lot. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. So we have Mutano G says, I challenged myself to write something every day and a video twice a week, and that has been going well. That's beautiful. Well done. Stacy, I took a chance and accepted a mentorship program for software engineering for 2025 and in a totally different field. And now I am here and going strong. That's so inspiring. That's really inspiring. Thank you so much. Catherine says, for me, I have been attending a leadership and personal growth roundtable training. Well done. This is also amazing. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on, but please just keep them coming in. Just keep them coming in. Just keep them coming in. I know that people are getting inspired by the chats, right? Please keep them coming in. Please keep them coming in. Right. So now, thank you so much for being part of that. I'm sure it was a very great shake up, right? Shake our senses, not just our body, right? And so the next item on our agenda for today is the keynote address. And for that, I'm going to hand off to Peculiar Richard. So Peculiar, I'll give the next 2 minutes and you can start with the introduction so that Shelley can begin our keynote at 10:30. But while we are handing off, please continue to put your inspiring comments in the chat. Tell us one thing you have accomplished within the last 3 weeks that you are so proud of.
Hi, Ayama. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm yet to get the
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So you get it shortly.
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful opening speech. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm very confident that we're going to have like an amazing time with the speakers that we have, lined up for today and also for tomorrow. So before we introduce the speaker, I would like to ask everyone to get, writing materials, because whenever I join, events like this, I make sure to bring my pen and, a jotter, because I know that I'm not going to, like be able to remember every details, every nugget, every, information, valuable information that will be shared right here. So if I were you, I would get a writing material and a pen. I have mine here with me, and I hope you do that too. While we're still waiting for the details, I would like to also mention that we everything we're doing right here is going to be, like timed, and we also like get your questions ready, when the session is going on. So we're going to have like the Q&A session at the end of each speech or each session, right? So that is also why it's important to have your writing materials, because you need to, write down your questions so you don't forget your questions.
Okay.
All right. Just a moment.
Okay, you have it.
All right, thank you. Checking. Okay, so our first session for today is going to be from Sheila Fantastic, and she's our keynote speaker, for this event. So I'm just going to go ahead and give an introduction, and we're going to, welcome her on the stage. I would like everyone to react. I mean, so that we should know that, okay, we're happy to have her here. So Sheila Fantastic is a founder and CEO of Shifan Pro, an emerging technology company dedicated to, creating social impact through the power of connections. She's a single mom with no prior tech background, but Shirley boldly launched herself into the world of technology and leadership at 45, right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Defying the odds, she turned her vision into reality, proving that innovation and resilience have no age limits. Today, Shirley is on a mission to bridge gaps, empower communities, and inspire others to embrace new beginnings. Welcome, Shirley. Yeah, we are so happy to have you. How are you doing today?
Hi there. Hi, thank you for having me and inviting me here today. I really appreciate it. And hello to everybody that's watching as well. It's great to see so much engagement already and so much enthusiasm. It's absolutely fantastic and really is encouraging. So that's absolutely amazing. Um, so yeah, I'm glad to be here and share a little bit about my journey and hope that it inspires others to keep going if sometimes I think we all feel at times that we can feel disheartened, overwhelmed and so on, and sometimes it's good to touch base with something inspirational, because I think it just reminds you that you can keep going and that why you should keep going. So I'll just kick straight off, I guess. So I'm Shelley Fantastic, founder and CEO of Shifan Pro Limited here in the UK. We have a global reach. We currently have access to 50,000 developers. We have marketing teams, investor pools, project management pools, everything. We are a one-stop shop, which ranges over about 100 partners, spanning over 22 countries. And and we're a registered trademark, and all this, brings a smile to my face, because it feels sometimes a little bit surreal, because as per the introduction there, I started out right here in this chair, in the middle of lockdown. It was a difficult time for everybody, and I realized that I needed to try and make a difference. And I was invited to an opportunity to educate women in the tech space, particularly with a particular emphasis on cryptocurrency at the time, because I quickly realized that there were many people that had been scammed and had lost money and everything in the some of these cryptocurrency platforms. There were lots of bad actors, lots of unsustainable platforms, and I realized that, a lot of people were in danger of losing money through lack of education. Uh, so I quickly decided that we needed to do something about it. We needed to come together. And, I hope that my journey as, at the time, a 45-year-old single mum of four with 30 plus years of service in the National Health Service with mental health, so a completely different industry. At a time of life where some people might say, well, you should be slowing down. What are you doing? You can't learn something new at your age. Well, I think, I'm going to keep learning until the day I die. We're never too old to learn something new. And actually, sometimes the older you are, it stands you in good stead, because you have so much life experience and so many transferable skills that you can deploy into what it is that you're doing, your endeavors. So it's definitely, never too late. And, so we started out literally with a Facebook group. I built my own website from the lounge. I couldn't even copy and paste. I was a complete tech phobe. I mean, I was next to useless, literally. And, over time, we've migrated to new servers. We've got 3 websites now, so we do the multi-web marketing. And we really, support women in particular, to learn, certified education programs, public speaking events, if they want to get into marketing or whatever like that. We do a lot with recruitment. So there's so many things that we can support women with, including the mental health side of things and the well-being. So, sometimes it's about the confidence. Sometimes people just don't have the confidence to strike out and to do something, because maybe they've been told that, they can't do it. Maybe they're too old, or they're not from a certain background, or, they don't have the money to learn, or whatever it is, and sometimes for me, it's about building that confidence and that self-belief and that mindset that says, I can do it. I can do it. And, at Shefan Pro here, we connect the dots, if you like. So if somebody that's starting out is looking for a certified education program, we can facilitate that. If somebody's looking for investment for their business, we can make necessary introductions. We can support with pitch decks. We have developer teams, we have project managers, digital marketing, influencer marketing, all of it. And basically what we do is we connect the dots. So we send clients to our partners that are trusted, but we also, if we have a client that may be looking for a marketing team and software development, we can make those necessary introductions and make sure that it fits our clients' needs, whether it's budget, geographical location, whatever it is, we can, cross-reference that against our database of partners and skills, and facilitate, and make life easier, because life is difficult. We know that. And, it's a minefield out there. You don't know who you can trust. You don't know. It takes time. It's consuming. It's stressful. So we can make that that process more comfortable and saving time and money. So that's what we do. And with that, we hope that, it lends itself to a calmer kind of disposition for a person, you know, that they're not so stressed out maybe. So yeah, so we do that. We do a lot of work with our partner in Bangladesh, Neela from Women in Digital. She's one of our key partners, and they've been teaching women out there to code into the thousands, to reduce things like, you know, poverty and childhood marriage and things. And, you know, there was a pain point with the infrastructure. So, you know, we've been supporting them to sell some of the clothing that the women entrepreneurs out there have been making. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. So we've been selling that at events and what have you, and all the proceeds go back over to Bangladesh to support, you know, paying for the infrastructure to support this continued learning journey and the social impact therefore. So yeah, many things that we do here at SheFan Pro. We do private consultations. So if people, women, need you know, some coaching, mentoring, we can facilitate all that. We can introduce you if you want to have an opportunity to speak or to learn marketing or whatever it is. It's always worth knocking on SheFan Pro's door, so to speak. And I'm always available and always happy to support and signpost wherever possible. So I don't know if anybody has any questions so far. If you do, you know, I'm more than happy to answer them. That's more than fine. But in the meantime, I would just say that, you know, for me, when I first set up SheFan Pro and I was offered this opportunity, I was terrified. I was like, there was one part of me that really wanted to do it, and there was another part of me that was saying, you can't do this. This is too much. This is a big deal. This is like, you don't know what you're doing. This is scary. And I took the leap and I thought, you know, I can learn as I go. You know, I'd always thought before that I needed all the answers to all the questions before I could start out. And actually, it dawned on me that I could learn as I go, you know, and it's an organic thing, I think, you know, where you learn as you go. And sometimes you don't know some of the questions until you hit a certain point in that journey, and then you know, you've got this issue, this challenge, this question, and you work through it step by step, really, you know. And we're always changing and we're always learning, you know, we're always developing and changing the way that we approach things, you know, our marketing strategies, we're always pivoting to try and, you know, meet the demand out there and support people. And, you know, we're always listening and thinking, you know, what is it that people need? What are the pain points? Where are they struggling? What can we do to support that? And we're always changing and pivoting to try and meet the demands of the people that we're there to serve, really. And that includes our partners as well, because we also support our partners. I think that's really important. I think, you know, in business, it's really important to remember the human behind it, to remember the human behind the tech. You know, it's not all about the technology. Technology is great and we need it, you know, and there's no doubt about it. But we've got to remember why, you know, it's the humans. It's the humans that we're, you know, it's the humans on this earth, humanity. We have to try and make things better. We have to look after our well-being. We have to look after each other. And we always have to look at how we can achieve that. And I think, you know, a while ago, maybe a couple of years ago, things got really busy for me at SheFan Pro. Life just got so busy, and I was always asked to, you know, do speaking events and everything else. And I remember speaking to one of my good friends, Linda Getz, amazing woman, amazing educator. And I said, you know, I just don't like to say no. You know, all these people are asking me to do these, you know, keynotes and everything else. And I just don't, I don't want to say no, but I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And she said something wonderful. She gave me the permission to say no. There's so many different ways that you can say no. And again, that hadn't really dawned on me, but speaking to Linda that day, who's an amazing woman, and I consider not only a friend, but a mentor, she said, look, you can offer the opportunity to somebody else. So no, I'm sorry, I can't do that at the moment. I'd love to, but I really can't. But I would like to suggest another person and give them the opportunity. So you're giving that opportunity to somebody else as a gift, really. And therefore you're helping the person that's asked you that you know, are unable to kind of say yes to. And it's like passing it on, isn't it? It's like passing on, the good luck, the opportunities, the good fortune. It's about passing it on. And I think that was a really, memorable conversation for me, because it almost gave me the permission to think, I don't have to say yes to everything. I don't have to know everything. When I first started out, I was frantically searching everything. I felt like I needed to know absolutely everything about every point in the business. And I quickly realized that you don't have to know everything. You just have to start. You have to go forward with courage in your heart, remembering your why, connect with people, join the dots. People are so amazing. We have so many amazing humans around the world. And, we can have these conversations and connect and support each other. And I think that lends itself to, leadership, doesn't it? It's leadership. That is leadership. It's creating many, many more leaders. It's nurturing, our community, our colleagues, our peers. It's nurturing and supporting them in their endeavors, cross-pollinating, complementing each other, picking up the slack for others when they're struggling, being kind to each other, being mindful of, how difficult life can get sometimes, not just in business, but getting out of bed sometimes can be really, really hard. Showing up for the day and putting on, the smile on your face if sometimes you don't always feel like you want to smile, and it's about, taking good care of ourselves, but also taking very good care of each other and noticing and supporting. And I think at Shefan Pro, we really try our best to capture that, and bring other people on to make life more fair, because I'm just a regular person. I am just a regular person. I've had so many challenges. I've raised 4 children by myself, literally by myself, in a town that I don't come from. We've had lots and lots of struggles. It's when I look back, when I remember reading one of your comments there in the chat this morning. I can see it here. You just had a baby a month ago while having a 2-year-old toddler to manage and started your MSc program. I'm just reading it out there just to remind you all. That reminded me of me. I was like, my goodness. When I look back now, I think how did I juggle all that, And what I'm trying to really convey to you all today, I suppose, is that I'm not, anything tremendous. I'm not rich. I'm just a normal woman that knows how hard it can be. Just the day-to-day stuff, just the basic day-to-day stuff can be so, so difficult. And, a woman that thought to herself, you know what, maybe I've got a chance. Maybe I've got a chance to try something new. Maybe I've got a chance to help other people like me have a chance. Maybe, it's time that we level up, that we come together. And actually, in business, there's a huge, huge place for mental health and well-being. It's not all about, deadlines and all these things. It's about the people that are behind it all. Workplace staff well-being. It's about, making sure that the humans are taken care of, because if they are, then everything else kind of falls into place. And we know that, if people feel valued and heard and listened to and appreciated and supported, that they're always going to be and do better. And I suppose for me, that's the epitome of leadership. It's about supporting those endeavors and really helping us all grow together which is how it should be, I think. So that's it from me today. I want to leave enough time to be able to answer any questions that anybody might have or comments.
All right, thank you so much, Sheila. That was very amazing and also very refreshing. I mean, I don't think I've heard like anything so refreshing recently, right? And there were a few things you said that, really stuck out for me. I think one is, don't let your circumstances define you. You are capable of anything, no matter where you are at the moment or what your life is, right? And then you also said that, to take the leap and we learn as to go. You don't need to like know everything before you start. I mean, we've been hearing that all the time, but it's still, very difficult to just, just go out there and start doing stuff, especially when you don't have like the right background or you're coming from a different background, right? You also mentioned something about you don't need to, I think I already said that you don't need to know everything. You have to connect with people. You have to focus on, creating minimal leaders. You have to be mindful. And the most important is, I mean, you have to do what you have to do, even when you don't feel like, but at the same time, prioritize rest. Because in this part of the world, I mean, we always, the hustle culture, you have to do a lot. We don't talk about the mental health problems all the time. People who even talk about it are stigmatized in a way. So thank you so much. So if you have any questions, please, you can either raise your hand and I can, you can unmute your microphone to ask your questions, or you can drop it in the chat session. While we're waiting for the question, Shelley, you said that, you mentioned that we can reach out, if we want, speaking opportunities or, other opportunities as well. So I'm wondering I want to ask how we can, reach out to you.
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, just I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on social media, mainly LinkedIn. But also you can just email me at shelley@shefan.pro. I can type it into the chat as well. So I'm more than happy to receive emails or LinkedIn connection requests or Facebook. That's more than fine. I'm always here really to help other people.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we'll be expecting that in the chat so we can, grab it. And anyone who wants to reach out can reach out. So do we have any questions? I'm still expecting questions. I'm really surprised that we don't have any questions for Shelley.
Okay, so someone is asking for the email.
Shelley said she's going to leave it in.
Yeah.
Okay, in the chat. Okay.
I'll type that in.
All right.
Yeah, got that.
On the LinkedIn. So we are so asking for your LinkedIn. I think we can just have, so you can just search with her name on LinkedIn, right? You're going to see her profile and then send a connection request. So it would be great to, add an introductory note when you're sending the connection request. So should know that we met her from this event. Thank you so much, Shelley, for the wonderful session again. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and thank you everybody for being here. And as I said before, reach out if if I can support with anything, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you'd agree with me that was very mind-blowing. Please, can you drop messages in the chat session, just any emojis. And please, can we just say thank you to Shelley? All right, let's keep it coming. Thank you. Thank you, Bekmora. Thank you, Informa. Thank you.
So I see question.
Okay.
I think I saw a question there. thank you, everybody, because the messages coming in are so encouraging for me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the messages. And I saw a question, I think it was about juggling, what kept you going when you were juggling all those different duties.
Yes.
I guess really, you know, apart from determination and remembering why, and I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. You know, I'd already prepared myself. It wasn't going to be easy. So I guess just keeping that in mind, I think for me, what enabled that was balance, taking the time to rest, not pushing myself, thinking to myself, well, because sometimes you might feel like you can do more. Sometimes you might have done an 8-hour day and you might think, well, I feel great. So I feel like I could do a 10 or 12-hour day or 14-hour day or whatever. And sometimes for me, it was about kind of just stopping and thinking, actually, no, I've already done, I know, a 10-hour day. I've managed to complete all this stuff, training, emails, whatever it is, work. So now I'm going to take some time to rest because I'd like to be able to do maybe 8 hours tomorrow and have that consistency. Because, you know, sometimes even though you feel like you can do loads of more because you've kind of got that adrenaline and you're all kind of, you know, pumped up or whatever, and you're like, yeah, I'm on a bit of a roll here. This is great. And sometimes it's really tempting to kind of run with that and keep going with that. The danger is that you can hit burnout and then you might have 4 or 5 days or weeks where you can't do a thing because you just burnt out completely, exhausted. And you can start feeling the overwhelm and everything else. So I think, you know, for me, it's about, you know, it was and it still is about the balance. It's about making sure, being very aware, acutely aware of how much work you're actually doing and ensuring that you do build in time to stop and do something really, really nice. Thank you.
All right, thank you for answering that question. We have another question in the comments. My question is, what kind of business do you do and what marketing strategies do you use?
So we have, in terms of the marketing, we have a couple of tremendous partners that take care of the marketing. So basically, the type of work that Chiffon Pro does is we connect a client. Maybe they're looking for a marketing team or influencer marketing, whatever it is, and we will look at, you know, their budget because it has to be realistic. So we look at their budget, we look at exactly what type of marketing it is that they're needing, whereabouts they are in the world, all these types of things. And then I go and I look at our database of partners and I match I match the two of them together. And then I will project manage that from start to end and make sure that the client's happy and that the partner team is happy as well and that everything runs to order really and that there's no kind of breaches to the strategy or whatever else like that. So that's what we do. So it's all bespoke. It's all bespoke to whatever our clients require. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, hi Frida. I hope your question was answered. Shelley, question is
in terms of marketing, what marketing strategies do you use?
The Chiffon Pro itself, so we do the multi-web marketing with links from each website, which drag you over to the other 2 websites. We do a lot on social media. We used to do quite a few lives and things like that. Not so many these days. And it's really just about, for me, it's all very simple. And I try and keep things as simple as I can because I'm a big believer in simplicity. I think sometimes as human beings, we search for really complex solutions and complex answers to our questions. And actually, quite often the answer lies in simplicity. So really for me, it's about, you know, the basics, being consistent, you know, getting that message out there, being clear, being understandable, visuals are great for me. I love to see visuals, things that catch people's eyes, not too much information, but just enough. that hits the person's, maybe pain point, that catches a person's eye, with then a call to action. Again, keeping it simple, keeping it visual, being consistent and persistent with it, and being relatable. Look, being real, being relatable to the people that you're trying to actually communicate with. For me, that's Shifan Pro strategy. And we've gone from me sat here on this chair. I think within about 3 years, we had maybe about 250,000 in our community across social media, 100 partner teams, 50,000 developers. And and it just started here with me in lockdown, literally sat on this chair with the view that you've got. This is why I've done this today, to just show you all, this is where it started. This is why I've done this today. Not very attractive, I know, but this is where it started. This is the reality. Just a regular mum sat in a lounge in the middle of lockdown, trying to do something different and do it as easy as possible, so that hopefully I can share my journey with other people and inspire other people, I guess.
Thank you so much. The answer. So I think that I have a question for you. You mentioned, connecting with people. So can you give us tips, how we can, get started with that, especially for someone who has not started doing anything yet, or is finding it difficult to put themselves out there, or people who are technically introverts?
So connecting with people, things like this are absolutely amazing. Look at all these people that I'm going to be connecting with today, and you all can teach me so much. No one person knows everything. And if they think they do, then they're deluded or arrogant, because no one person knows everything. We need each other. So the best way to connect with people is join, events like this. Get yourself out there. It can be scary at times, and it is time consuming, but the value that you're going to get from it, you're going to learn so much. You're just going to learn so much, because, think of all these great minds coming together, and now we've got a toolkit, of anything that we need. It's basically like a human Google, isn't it? That's basically what you create when you build a community. You do things together. And the best way to get started, I suppose, is joining things like this. This is where I got the the offer to start my first ever partnership, which triggered the whole Shifan Pro thing, when I was with at a conference with the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, and somebody reached out to me and said, "Hey, let's do a 3-way partnership and start educating people so that they can keep themselves safe, in the space and what have you." And that's where it started. And at 1:30 in the morning, I was in my bed, and I had until Monday. This was a Friday, and I had until the Monday to get this over the line, to get the company registered and build a website and everything. And I'd worked all week as well in my other job. And I thought, you know what? If I don't do it, I'm never going to do it. And I did it, and I just incorporated the company 1:30 in the morning. And got that. I was up at 6 o'clock the next morning, doing the website, dragging and dropping, because as I said, I used to be a complete tech phobe, so I was absolutely useful, just dragging and dropping and making probably a hash of it, but I'm watching YouTube videos and everything on what to do. But I did it. I got it over the line Monday morning. We signed our first partnership, and Shifan Pro, that was it. So connecting, joining things like this would be my answer to your question.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think that's all the questions we have for you. And I hope you look forward to the people that will be connecting, with you after this. Thank you so much again, Shirley.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We're going to be moving on to our next session, which is with our speaker, and we're going to be looking at your natural blueprint, redefining impact and presence for women in tech. So I'm going to introduce the speaker, and we can get started right away. Her name is...
Can I come in, please? Yeah.
Okay,
Hi,
yes.
Peculiar. Yes, please. So our next speaker is not in the meeting yet,
Okay.
right? So we might have to move on to
To the next
any
one,
of the
okay.
speakers. Yes, that is here. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm trying to check
All right,
for
can you?
another speaker because she did say that she will be traveling today, but she will try to join the meeting in time. But she's not here now. And so we might have to move over to another speaker. But I'm just checking to see who's here at this time and who is ready. But if, okay.
We can have, okay.
Okay, so while we wait to see if she will join us in the next 5 minutes, I think that you can go ahead and talk about Mama's Mind.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So hi everyone again. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you briefly about what we're doing at Mama's Mind. I know I already told you in the beginning when I was introducing myself, but those of us who were not here, then so this is another opportunity to, get to learn about us, or another opportunity for me to get to share, what we do with you. So we know we've heard a lot about postpartum depression, right? So has anyone here heard about what postpartum depression is? So you can just react in the comments and just give me feedback. So check. Okay. So as I said, yes, I have. So yeah, technically, I mean, there was this post that trended on Twitter once where we had a woman hurt her baby and herself. And a lot of people were talking or, putting blames on her and saying that baby she was possessed by an evil spirit or something. But I think that was when we even started seeing some doctors, some health professionals, pointing throwing the lights on postpartum depression and how it can be bad on the mom's health, right, and on their baby. So typically from this part of the world, we always, especially with things that have to do with mental health, and then when it has to do with women too. So we get things like, okay, why are you complaining? Your mom, our mothers, our grandmothers did, similar stuff. They did it and they didn't complain. So why is your own case different, right? So we want to change that narrative. We want to, create a safe space where these women can get help, democratic access to healthcare professionals. And this does not just include, the normal nurses or midwives, but these are like mental healthcare professionals, and they can get this access from the comfort of their home. And it can also be, with very little investment, right? They don't have to like break the bank to get access to this healthcare. We also have, created other features like communities where, I mean, if a new mom say has a new baby, first time mom, and she does not know what to do with a particular situation, she can go to this community and ask questions, and she will not be judged. She will not be, she would not have, random people telling her, okay, you don't know what you're doing, or blame her or stigmatize her in any way, right? So we have, this because the communities are going to be women that's going to be in these communities, and they're going to be moms, like your fellow moms. And we're also going to have healthcare professionals so that when you ask questions, questions are going to be answered. Then we also know that most times, most women don't know how to, express, or most moms rather don't know how to express, how they feel, because they don't even understand how they feel, right? So we're trying to solve this problem by, having you express your feelings without even saying a word, and having you, gain access to resources that you're going to learn everything that you're supposed to know about, your physical health, your mental health, both for your mom and both for yourself and for your baby, just from one place. And the good news is we are going live in in the coming weeks. And we're also looking for, people to test out this product and tell us what they think, because one of our mantra, or one of the things we work with, is we try to, work our solutions towards exactly what our users need, right? So we need to, you test out this product, get your feedback, and then we iterate on the solution until we get, a perfect working solution for moms and the community at large. So I'm not doing this alone. I have co-founders, and my co-founder is a woman, right? She's a mom, and this is all her idea, because when we came together, I wanted to build a solution. Now she's like, oh, there isn't any solution for postpartum depression. And this is something I went through when I had my 2 babies, and I did not get help. I mean, I looked for help, but I couldn't find it. And the ones I found were out of reach, right? And I couldn't even talk to anybody at that point, because I've always been, expected to act like I know how to figure everything out. And then we decided to build a solution for moms like her, and for moms that we have here. No, no, I'm not the mom of 2. I said my co-founder. Her name is Amara. Yes, this is my co-founder. Oh, thank you so much, Osasu. I'm very glad that this is, very so comforting. So if you're interested in testing out this product, I'm going to drop a link for you to fill it out, and we're going to reach out to you, once we go live, which is in about a week, or so. And I heard that when we're making introductions, I heard that there are psychologists here. So we have opportunities for mental health care professionals or healthcare professionals who work with moms at large to offer their services. So you're going to have like another sort of income, and you're going to choose the time and the days that you work. You can still combine it with your full-time practice, and you can have the opportunity to make impact in the product and in the life of moms as well. So that also means that in addition to offering your services, you're also going to get the opportunity to create resources that are very well researched, and you're going to have all the credit to your name. Yes, that's an overview. I'll be talking a lot. It's not actually an overview at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
but I do have a question.
Okay.
Is there any situation or a story that actually led to Mama's Mind? Can you share like a story or an experience with a mom, and how you came in, or how your co-founder came in to support that mom?
Okay, yes, there is actually. So I'm not a mommy yet, but I have an elder sister, and I have like other cousins who are moms, and I'm really close to my sisters and my cousin sisters, right? And during the times that they gave birth, I watched them, right, go through a lot of stuff, and they were not even able to speak up. I mean, I can remember when my sister had our second child. She was going through a lot, mentally. She couldn't even talk to her husband because, I mean, what she's just like, what is it going to say? I mean, I've had my first child, was not this difficult, and then this second time is very hard for me, right? And I don't even know what to do. We tried reaching out to some doctors, but we only had access to midwives, because we were not informed at that point that there are healthcare professionals and mental health professionals that cater to postpartum depression. We didn't even know what postpartum depression is. I mean, if you say that you're depressed, they'll say, okay, maybe you need prayers, right? You don't need to seek the help of a doctor. So that was all these experiences, and that I saw my sisters go through. And I'm like, okay, during my own time, because I know I would like to have a child sometime in the future, I wouldn't want to, go through this. And that was what, when I met Amarachi, we met in school actually. We did a program together in software engineering, and then we started talking and wanted to, build something together. And then when she spoke, it was her that, introduced or that brought the topic, the idea. I was like, yes, this is something that I've been thinking about, right? So we can actually do it. Then we started doing our research, and we know that it's going to be like a big barrier to break into, because yes, we have people, brands, businesses who cater to moms, but not any one of them, or not, so many of them specialize in the mental health care of moms, right? So we wanted to, that's why we got together, we brought together a team. So we started reaching out to people, are you interested in this? This is what we're trying to build. And yes, I said, yes, this is very inspiring. We're going to do it. And that's how we got it together. We've been building for, quietly for a long time. Well, this year we decided to, put what we have out there, get feedback from, the actual users who are moms, and, keep making it better and better.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I think I like what you said when you said you had been building for a while and you decided to show up with what you have. And for me, I think that feedback is the best ingredient for growth, right?
Yeah.
Without feedback, you can be doing something and there's still a lot of room for improvement. Without feedback from others, you may not really know where to look at or how to go about it. Yes. Thank you, Shirley. Feedback is so important. And so I know that there are moms in this room, and I know that personally, I wouldn't say I went through postpartum depression, right? But I can say that I had a very tough pregnancy, right? And at some point in my third pregnancy, I used to consider like, oh God, can I just go? Like, this is just too much for me to handle. Can I just go? Like, I couldn't stand seeing the sun. When it's sunny, like in the morning and the sun rises, I feel like I should pass out, right? It was that bad. But
yeah,
after I had my child, I looked at it like, oh, this happened, right? This happened, it's gone. I've never really gone back to go and research it. So there might be a name for it, right? Just like you mentioned that a lot of women go through post-maternal depression and they don't even know what it is, right? And I'm sure that I'm not the only one who had gone through a pregnancy and felt that way. So in this room, I know that you're still building your product. I would want to ask women, moms in the room, if you were to use a mobile application that's meant to help you go through your first few months of childbearing, of delivery, what would you want to see in that application? Could you put it in the chat? I think this is one of the best rooms where you can actually source for ideas or source for feedback that could help you improve what you are building while we're waiting for our speaker to show up. Yeah, so Joy Jimo said food menu. Okay, so please let's put it in the chat. Let's help Amara build. Let's help Peculiar build. Tracking vaccinations and clinics. Awesome. Okay. List of exercise, how to manage sleepless nights, supportive messages like this, and you're not alone. Yes. Thank you. Let's put it in the chat. Encouraging words.
List of exercise.
Daily affirmations. Beautiful. Breastfeeding techniques and foods that support lactation. Awesome. Tracking my monthly cycle after birth. Dealing with mood swings of babies from not wanting to eat or crying uncontrollably. The various baby milestones to expect. Beautiful. How to deal with morning nausea. Common changes in our body. Awesome. Please let's keep them coming. I'm sure Peculiar and Amara We'll be taking notes. Yes, I know Amarachi is not here, but I can feel her presence. Yeah. Connecting moms with pediatricians, that colic phase is a lot. And yes, colic phase is a lot. And most times you don't even know what to do. You don't even know if it is colic or not, right? Breakdown of do's and don'ts the first 3 months after, articles on milk production. Now, for first-time mothers, I know because I went through that experience, milk production can be a big deal. Sometimes they tell you, take this meal, take that meal, it's supposed to help. And sometimes it still doesn't show up, right? Until days after. And as a mother, you are worried sick that your child might just pass out of out of hunger. Do you understand? So these things happen. So thank you. This is really beautiful. This is beautiful. This is very awesome. Thank you for sharing this in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing this in the chat. Balancing your attention, a relationship between your spouse. This is amazing. I'm sure that Mama's Mind has a lot to do with all this information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So does anyone have a question? Does anyone have a question? I'm sure if you have a question for Mama's Mind regarding their product, yes, getting your groove back after childbirth. I'm very sure these are post ideas, content ideas. Please, amazing. So we hope that our proposed speaker for this session will be able to join us later on. But while we are on this call, I know that the next speaker will join us at 11:20. That's 11:20 Nigerian time. That's in 4 minutes. And as soon as she joins, we will move on to her session of this day one. But before then, I'd like to give a shout out to the man in our midst, Mr. Kelly Asu, who is representing Tech Impact Club Africa. Thank you so much for joining. It was because of Tech Impact Africa that we were able to actually kickstart our Digital Women Bootcamp in May 2021, right? And I'm so grateful. I remain grateful. Like I said to them, they are members of the MumsWhoCode family. Just like Mama's Mind is now a member of the MumsWhoCode family, right? It's not, we don't do partnerships or we don't do sponsorships one-off. We believe that if you have given us or if you have supported us in any way, it's because you believe in our mission. And so if you believe in our mission, then you are part of the family. I'm not sure if Kelly is able to turn on his mic at this time, but if you're able to do that, Kelly, if you can hear me, please turn on your mic and just say hello to the women in the room.
Okay, hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Kelly.
Yes. Can you turn on your camera? Is it possible?
It's not possible right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not possible right now. So I don't know, what am I supposed to be doing now?
You're supposed to be giving a shout out to the women in the room and also sharing about Tech Impact Club. Like I said, we're so grateful. MumsWhoCode remains grateful to Tech Impact Club for being a huge supporter. They supported us for two or three cohorts. And today they are here also supporting us. Like I said, you're members of the MumsWhoCode family, and we want you to give a shout out to the women in the room and also just say something about how Tech Impact Club has also grown over the last few years.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. Actually, we, like she rightly said, we are like a family, and Tech Impact Club is one company that we believe in in creating impact. And we like to create impact in places that matters. And we've also found out that, more especially in Africa, technology is being limited to some categories of people that are opportuned, mostly men, and people that have been able to achieve some certain levels in their life. But here at Tech Impact Club, we've decided to take technology to places where it's like there's been no hope that tech will get to, or to people that feel like they are not being granted the opportunity to have tech education. So we've decided that those are the areas we want to create impact in, especially the women, the children, and some of the youths in Africa. And that's the reason why we decided to partner with MumsWhoCode, because getting mothers that have children, some 5, some 10 children, and coding in their kitchen while they are cooking is something that actually, thinking about it, is amazing. It's out of this world. Getting a mom coding while she's cooking to feed her kids, it's actually something that is out of this world. So when we have people that have such kind of mindset to learn new things, to create an impact in their society, we are very, very much available to be part of such projects. And we are looking forward to more projects that we'll be partnering with, creating fundings for, especially in some parts of Africa, the East Africa, and also some parts of Nigeria, the south part of Nigeria. We're also looking at creating impact in those places, creating fundings to get people into technology, to get children into technology, to get girls into technology, to get women into technology, to get every other person that has found getting into technology very, very difficult. We try to make it a seamless run for them. So that's just basically what we do at Tech Impact Club. We create impact all across Africa. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much for that short but very insightful speech. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. So I remember that the first time I had a call with the Tech Impact Club team, that was before we got the first grant. I remember they asked why I was doing MumsWhoCode, why I was going to have the bootcamp. And then I said everything I had to say. And one of them said, yes, imagine moms going from having a kiosk in front of their homes to actually working from their homes in tech and working remotely and earning, right?
Yeah.
For me at that time, it was a huge possibility and I loved it. But I didn't think that in within the space of 4 years, right, I will be able to. It was possible, right? But it wasn't what I was looking out for. It wasn't something that I intentionally worked towards, right? I wanted to do the bootcamp because I felt like women need to be empowered in tech. One of the things that really hit me is when I see women struggling with digital skills, right? One of the tasks I took a couple of years ago at my previous workplace was helping people complete application, right? And
Yeah.
I see women pay some amount of money for something that they could easily do, not because they don't have the time to do it. It's one thing for you not to have the time to do it and outsource it, right? It's a completely different thing for you not to know how to do it and you're holding a mobile device in your hand and you are paying somebody to do it for you, right? It pains me and I feel like, oh, this is a waste. I don't care how economically stable you are. If you can do it yourself and you have the time to do it and you have to pay for it because you don't know how to do it, then I think you should learn how to do it, right? Especially, I'm talking in the context of digital skills this time, right? And so that was one inner passion that I had for the Digital Women Bootcamp. And I remember then when we started, we had this track called Digital Literacy. And you know, the shocking thing about this thing is, for every cohort that we have added digital literacy skills, right, we still have experiences where women don't join this track. We have very few number of women join this track compared to the others, right? And they go for things like, software development, they go for data analysis and all that. And then we begin the training and someone is not able to unmute a mic. Someone doesn't know where to go to share that screen. And I'm always in awe, like, so we have this track, digital literacy, but because it sounds too simple, they feel like, I already know it. If I have my mobile phone, then I already know how to do this thing. And then you get to situations where you need to actually leverage these skills to do something even better and you're stuck, right? And back to what I was going to say, that was my passion for the Digital Women Bootcamp. Not just the technical skills, but also giving women opportunity to acquire these simple skills that they can leverage, right? You may not have, you might be in a location where the job opportunities there are not big tech, right? But you can create an opportunity for yourself using digital skills, right? So that's on one side. Now, the other thing was, I talked about my passion with the team. And they mentioned, a woman can actually work remote and all that. I didn't imagine it wasn't my intention, right, at that point in time. But it's beautiful to see that in the space of 4 years from that time, I am now working from the comfort of my home. And sometimes it's beautiful when my children come back from school and they knock on the door and I am there to open the door for them, right? I'm actually working. I can pause my work at 2 and go prepare lunch and then come back and resume my work, right? And I think that's one of the beautiful things in life as a mom, if you ask me. That's one of the most beautiful things, being able to actually do these things, have children and be there, be present in their lives. And that's one opportunity amongst others, aside the fact that, aside the pay, which a lot of people like to focus on. But as a mom, speaking in the context of women in this room of this conference, I think one of the most beautiful things about it, yes, thank you, Joy Jimo, it's a big flex, right? And technology offers that opportunity. But the truth is, you can force a camel, right, to the stream, but you can't force it to drink water. But I hope that this conference will inspire many women who still don't feel confident enough to embrace technology. I hope that this conference will serve as an inspiration, as an encouragement. And just like Shirley Fantastic has said, she didn't even know how to copy and paste, right? But here she is today, having a community of over 50,000 people with hundreds of partners. So having said that, I just want to wrap it up by saying that I thank you, Tech Impact Club. Thank you, Mr. Kelly, for being here today. Thank you for the impact that you have made through us. Thank you for driving change. Thank you for driving digital technology adoption and education through MumsWhoCode. I'm always so proud to mention Tech Impact Club. I'm always also so grateful. So thank you so much for that.
Okay, I wanted to say one more thing.
Okay.
We are currently making impact in Zambia as we speak with Girl Coders Zambia. We started this project in November last year, and it's currently ongoing. Currently, we have about 85 ladies that we are currently impacting in Zambia, and about 7 mentors who are mentoring them in digital skills. So you can follow our page and follow the page of Girl Coders Zambia to get more insight and more information about things happening in that project as we speak.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so we move on to the next presentation on our agenda for today. Amarachi, please I'll hand off to you at this point. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay. Speaking, I'm going to quickly buzz the presenter to know if she's in the room. I've checked, but she's not there, but I'm going to buzz her now to know. Okay. She's Constance Ehilze. Oh.
Okay. Oh, I think she's here.
Oh, okay, great. Yes, she is. Thank you. I'll just spotlight her now.
Okay. Thank you. I'll just go ahead and introduce our speaker. Hi, Dr. C. Her name is Constance Ehilze, and she is a transformative force in health, safety, sustainability, and strategic leadership, dedicated to empowering women to excel in their careers, businesses, and leadership journeys. She has a doctorate in health and safety management in strategic leadership and corporate governance. She has trained professionals globally, equipping them with critical leadership and safety expertise. As an international speaker and advocate, Constance drives conversations on workplace well-being, sustainability, and proactive safety cultures, shaping industries and inspiring change. Her mission is bold and unwavering to empower, educate, and elevate, ensuring a legacy of excellence and innovation in every space she influences. Thank you so much. We are so happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Good morning, everyone. And I'm just going to see if I can share my slides. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. That's okay.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, good morning. So whilst I try to share my slides, I haven't got to meet everyone here. I'm sure it's almost impossible, but I mean, it's good that we're all in this space. Feel free to network with me or connect with me on social media. However, we'll probably see how much we can to engage with each other here. So very simply, my sessions usually I like them to be very interactive and very engaging. So we would start like this. Whilst I speak, I always say that I am also learning. So we're here together to learn together. I might be an expert in my field, but you're also an expert in your field. And it's great to actually share knowledge and ideas amongst ourselves. So having said that, if there's anything, if you've got questions within whilst I speak, please put your hands up. You can drop it in the chat box. I'm sure the moderator, at the end of it, we can all put it together and then ask the questions. But otherwise, you can put your hands up, and if it's convenient, we can have you speak up. So having said that, that's the ground rule. Feel free, let's interact, let's engage here. I'm just going to share my slides now. Just a minute. Let me see. Where? Okay. Document. 1 second, please. Okay. Would it be okay if okay, yes, I think I found it. Sharing. Okay. So let's move on now. Okay. All right, so welcome everyone. Today we're looking at the digital guardian. How do we ensure, how can we use technology to build healthier, safer and greener communities? So first off, I'll give a brief introduction of myself, just like the moderator has said. My name is Constance Eheze. Most people that know me call me Dr. C. And my focus is on health, safety, sustainability, and environmental management. I've spent the last 15 years in health and safety as a lead auditor of most of the ISO management systems, as a committee member with the British Standard Institute on the review of health and safety, and a whole load of other things that I do in between. One of the major things that I really love to do is to train and to mentor. So let's move over. Our session objectives for today will be to understand how digital technology is revolutionizing health and safety. Let me break this down very simply. My expertise is health and safety. Yours would be digital technology. But what I'm here to do today, and all of this big grammar you're seeing on the screen, is simply to show you what's the interconnection between digital technology and health and safety. Very simply, that's what this is. Okay, so let's look at how exactly is digital technology. In the sense of digital technology, I mean, from my own layman's point of view, I'm looking at AI, I'm looking at robotics, I'm looking at coding, I'm looking at digital technology. You know all of the big terms, but I'm just looking at how it actually plays out with health and safety. So before we begin, who knows what health and safety is here? So just tell me what your idea of health and safety is, what you think occupational health and safety could be in the workplace, around you, in the community, whatever it is. But I would really love to hear from you. So let the chat box keep buzzing and let's hear what exactly is health and safety. I can't seem to. Thank you, Comfort. Thank you. It's great to be here. Anyone? Okay. Yeah, total well-being while carrying out my duty. Okay. Anybody else? The state of well-being. Yes. State of well-being. So when we say a state of well-being, I like to say this well-being in a term in the sense that mentally, physically, and all that we bring with us to work, right? Would say, oh, when we say you're healthy, it means that what? You have a great state of well-being. So it might be emotionally, which we now refer to as the psychosocial risk at work, but it might also be physically. So physically, what you see in the workplace or around you is safe for you. Okay, now, thank you very much to Maybe and Pet Mora. Measures put in place to be safe. Rafia, yes, thank you. So for you, that's what safety would be. The measures that we put in place for us to be safe. Okay. So yes, I would say that we are all correct in that sense, if we want to put it that way. All of these things actually add up to us being all of these things actually add up to us what we call health and safety in the workplace. So we would say that OHS, like we say, occupational health and safety, it refers to the policies, the procedures, the laws that are designed to actually ensure the well-being of employees in the workplace. And like someone had actually put up in the chat box before, this all looks at both the physical, the mental, social health aspects, preventing injuries, illnesses, hazards in the workplace, and everything that we bring together to ensure that, the workplace is safe, is we can say people are healthy in the workplace. Now, according to the ILO, which is International Labour Organization, we know if you look at it, it will say that over 2.3 million people die annually due to work-related diseases. I'm sure someone is thinking, okay, how is this relating to us? Hang on in there. We'll probably get there. Now, which means that there are approximately 340 million occupational accidents and 160 million work-related illnesses that are reported each year. Now, that's a huge number. That's a great number. Imagine, let's pause there for a second. What if technology could actually predict and prevent workplace accidents before they happen? What do you think about that? Now, that's where the Mums Who Code comes in. That's where you come in, and that's where I come in as well. Because whilst my expertise is occupational health and safety, yours may very well be digital technology. And if we're looking at the technology that could predict and prevent workplace accidents before they happen, then boom, that's why we're here. Okay, so I'm going to quickly, can you see my slides? Hello? Why do I feel?
No,
No?
no, I can't see it.
You can't see it. Okay.
Um,
Is it so just very quickly, moderator, are you happy for me to send you my slide and then you could probably project it from your
sure.
end? Because I'm not sure why it's just
Yes.
circling here. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just quickly gonna give me a minute. I'm just going to quickly send these slides over to the moderator so it makes our lives easier. 1 second, please. Okay. If I reach you with, okay. See if I can reply to this. Forgive me. I'm just putting this
You could
together.
send it to MumsWhoCode.
Ah?
You could also send it to MumsWhoCode.
Yes, that's
The
what I'm doing.
participant MumsWhoCode.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm just replying to the email, if that's okay. Okay. So you should get that in a minute.
Cool.
And then, because on here, it just seems to be circling around. I'm not sure, absolutely sure why that's happening. Okay. Have you got that, please?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, so I'll just proceed, but there's something I really wanted to share, which is the reason why. Okay. So back to what we were saying. Take for instance, if we could all just say, okay, now before an accident happens, looking at the statistics that we've got earlier, like I said, with all of the numbers and over millions of people dying annually from work-related diseases in the workplace or accidents, if we could then create something that could predict these accidents or prevent them before they happen, what would you do? Yeah. Any luck with that?
Not yet.
Okay. Still haven't gotten it.
Okay. I got an email now.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Hopefully that's mine. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. Okay, so we can put that off. So what you see next is I'm just asking a simple question. Which of these digital trends excites you the most? So is it, and we're going to put our answers in the chat box. Tell me, is it AI? Is it the Internet of Things? Is it data analytics? Is it robotics? Is it wearables? All of these things are applicable to health and safety. And I'm just asking this question because then we can proceed with the conversation around if I feel like I'm most drawn to AI, if I feel like I'm most drawn to the Internet of Things, if I feel like I'm most drawn to robotics, then what can I do for us to ensure a safer, a greener, and a healthier community, even outside of the workplace? So whilst we get that on, whilst we get the slides coming on, can we put it up in the chat box? Which of the digital trends actually do you think you relate with the most? Which of them excites you the most? Okay, AI, data science, data analytics. Okay, data analytics, data science, AI, and AI. Okay. So that's great. Comfort at Day, Fabi says data analytics. Amanda says data science. Joy says AI. And of course, Amanda says data science and AI. Okay, I'm just going to ask one question. Now, let's talk, Joy. So how do you think AI can, in respect to all that we've been saying, how do you think AI can actually impact health and safety? In any way, I mean, just off your own thoughts, what do you think? How do you think AI can impact health and safety? Okay, Hannah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's the previous slide is where we are. Yes, perfect. So, yeah, so Joy, are you here? Do you want to write in the chat box, or do you just want to tell us? Yes, okay.
Can I? Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. So, from my own perspective, I think the use of AI in health and safety field can help reduce hazard in workplace, and also I think it can help also with increase response time when there is an emergency. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much, Joy. Actually, yes, it can help to, for emergency sake, you're very right. How do we just improve our response time? We can actually also do that. And because, okay, no, I'm not going to go into that just yet. Software development, this is great. This is one thing I really, really want to hear. Hannah Miller-Diola, what do you think we can create? So with software development, it's great that, that's the exciting part for you. How do you think we can find that interconnection between software development and health and safety?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. So the way software development can really, it's not like the way, it's actually of great impact in health and safety. Yes, because several applications have been built and some can still be built to enhance health system. What I mean by that, applications that can make patients reach out to doctors even without getting to the hospital.
Yes,
and prescription can be made. Yes. So then also for the safety, people can reach the clinic through the application because it has been automated. Once the message is sent, the person that needs to respond to that emergency can actually receive it instantly. So software development has really had a great impact in that aspect, and it's still having impact. There are still things to be built.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, so you've actually spoken to software development in healthcare, the healthcare sector. And that's the great part of health and safety. It cuts across everything. That's the major reason why I'm here today. A lot of times we hear people say, I'm sure the first thing you probably would have seen, occupational health and safety, how does it relate to what we're talking about? It relates to everything. Because take, for instance, you're at work, right? Or even if you're a solopreneur, right? Or you work with, you're a bunch of entrepreneurs that work together, you still need health and safety because you need to be safe in that job. You need to ensure that others are safe in that job. As simple as it is, you're working with a laptop, right? You spend hours on your laptop. There's something we call ergonomics. So how do you sit on your chair? How do you ensure that, you know, even the repetitive movement, your hands, your mouse, and all your pads and all of those things together, you can work effectively and still remain healthy and safe. Now, to software development, thank you, Sarah Dowda. You said we can build apps that can make people access doctors or health workers easy. Great. You know, in some climes in the world, sometimes telemedicine is a really great thing, you know, and that's good. Some other parts of the world, you still need to probably get into the hospital. Your consultation still has to be face-to-face and things like that. But then it is, yeah, check Cloud Clinic app, for example. Great, Dr. Femi Aweyemi. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'll also have a look at that as well, Cloud Clinic. But another great thing for me, and with E3 Collectives, because E3 Collectives really is into educating young minds, youth on health and safety. How do we leave the world a better place? How do we ensure that even kids are not left behind? They understand what health and safety is. They understand the idea of keeping myself safe and keeping the person next to me safe. We all understand that safety is everyone's responsibility. That's what E3 Collectives is into. But recently, we've been down to now building a software that, you know, helps kids understand health and safety from a fun part. You know, we're building games and things like that. And that's you. That's entirely you, you know. So that's you are the creative. You're the one that understands how do we build this software, but you're doing it for health and safety to ensure that others are also healthy and safe at work. And that's one great part of this for me today, ensuring that, you know, we both understand that we can work hand in hand to make the planet, to make the world a better place, a healthier place, a safer place for us all. Apps that can do regular health check for users can also be created through daily question prompt. Great. Yes, absolutely. I'm really loving this. Thanks, guys. We're really engaging, and you know, I'm happy that we all are on the same page. We are understanding that, you know what, this is a collective effort for us to be able to leave the world a better place, for us to be, we talk every year very glamorously about sustainability. We talk every year about how, what's the 2030 vision, you know, the SDGs and things like that. But if we all do not collaboratively come together, then we can't achieve any of that. And that's the great thing that MumsWhoCode are doing today with this conference. Okay, so next slide, please. And please keep me up with my time. Otherwise, I'm just going to, moderator, I'm just going to keep talking and not remember that we need to wrap up with this. So the future of workplace safety, like I said earlier, there's a lot that's happening in the safety space, side by side with digital technology. So there are loads of emerging trends. AI, the Internet of Things, automation and safety management. A lot of these things are really happening. With artificial intelligence, there's a lot, the space is changing. We've got AI-powered analytics that can now predict workplace hazards. We can analyze what the risk patterns are. There's machine learning now, and then the Internet of Things, there are smart sensors. You go in a building, you can see the fire alarms, you can see all of those sensors that are put in place to actually monitor the environmental conditions. And that's a great thing. And then there's a really great part for me. Another part is the automation side of things. So now we've got robotics and automated systems that can actually reduce human exposure to hazardous risk. And thanks to those in the digital space. Because what we, the OHS professionals, do is we can sort of reason these things out. We can say, oh, how about someone, this is what the hazard is in this environment. But on the other end, from the digital guys, you guys would say, okay, we could probably build this and build that, you know, and this app can work for this and that app can work for this. How about we do prompts, automated prompts, like someone had said in there. So this picture on here is, I think this was taken in 2023, about the end of 2023 at the IBM in London. And so what the IBM have done, they've got a robot, which you can see there. His name is Yoki. And what Yoki does, Yoki is being used in the mining space, so high-risk sectors where you can't afford to lose a human. What they then do is send the likes of Yoki into maybe a confined space, which is like a space where there's a high risk there, but then it's sort of, you can have lone workers or it's confined, maybe the air is not adequate and things like that. But what they now do is they send the likes of Yoki in. He can read the environment. He can see exactly what's there. There's a camera on there that then reports back to us to see what's going on in there. So rather than lose a human, what could happen is if anything could go wrong, we could replicate Yoki, right? But we have the data all backed up, what's been happening in that space or in that sector. And that's a great thing to do. So another thing that is also a very good, what in the recent times, one of the great things that the emerging trends is with the smart PPE. We all know, I'm sure we know what PPEs are, but even if we don't, they're protective equipment, personal protective equipment. So rather than just wear a suit, we now have what we call the smart PPEs, which have been created with things like it can check your temperature, it can check if something is actually wrong with the person. So it sort of integrates technology into the personal protective equipment. So where you see people would normally wear hard hats, now we have smart hard hats that can actually tell, okay, you know what, there's sensors to detect stress, fatigue, and of course, heat, impact forces as they could be. But all of this is really a huge thanks to the digital transformation that's actually going on. All right, so let's quickly move to the next slide. I'm not sure, moderator, is it possible for us to play this video? So it's simply what happens when you code safety into a system. We could actually look at their apps or their systems that we could then look at the environment and it will tell you, oh, you know what, this is a workplace hazard. This is a hazard in this place. So that's an example of what I've just put on there. So you have some solutions that I could use, come into a space. Oh, this is, in this space, we've got this number of hazards, we've got this, that, and then they try to resolve them, which makes life a lot easier for the OHS professional. But all of this still is thanks to what digital transformation, what you guys would probably call coding or oh God, that's true. I thought I'll mention this. You know, a couple of years back, I delved into, I thought, oh, coding, how can I, in a bid to see how I could check the interconnection between digital technology and health and safety. I thought I was really smart. And then I went into coding. Believe me, I didn't do it for up to, I don't think it was up to 2 months. I almost felt like I was losing my mind. So a big kudos to every one of you that's attempting coding. I know it was Python I tried to get around then. And at some point I just thought, you know what, Constance is okay. Health and safety is for you, not everything is actually for you. And then I stepped away from it. So why have I said that? I just want to say well done to every one of you and all of the things that you're doing and how you're trying to find yourself in this space and navigate the whole digital technology area. It's really a great thing. And I do believe that we're able to birth and create really new and exciting things and things from this, because exciting times are here, really. And especially with the health and safety space, I know that, you know, I'm hopeful that at some point, someday, someone would create or build something and we would say, oh, we got the idea from the MumsWhoCode conference in 2025. That really would be a great thing. So digital technology is not just for software companies. It's revolutionizing safety in workplaces, public spaces, and even your homes. There are smart homes today because of digital technology. So what coding allows us to do is to create automated safety systems. Like I said, we have smart alarms that actually can detect hazardous conditions. There's real-time monitoring, which is AI detecting risky behaviors on examples, construction sites, mining sites, and, you know, the high-risk sectors, really. And like I said, we've got smart alerts and predictive insights, machine learning, analyzing past incidents to prevent future risk as well. Okay. So there's a myth. I think there's a myth around do you need to be a programmer to be able to do anything within the health and safety space, digital wise? I really would say no. I mean, you know a lot better about that space, and I know a lot better about the occupational health and safety. And what we will all try to do is to find that interconnection, that section that brings us together. What can I do with the knowledge that I have today? What can I do with the knowledge that I have now? You know, if I were to try to make an impact on the world with regards to health and safety, with regards to sustainability, with regards to environmental management, what can I do? I may not necessarily have to be a full-time coder to be able to leverage tech in health and safety, but I can collaborate with developers. I can use no-code or low-code platforms to actually build safety solutions, right? And it might just be your idea that the world is waiting for, you know. So I know about some beginner-friendly platforms to explore, and I'm sure you all would also know about this. But otherwise, if you don't, it's worth having a look through at it. The MIT App Inventor for creating safety apps without coding. The Power Automate, we all know Microsoft and we know the Power Automate. This is really brilliant because I've had to create flows, a lot of flows on health and safety that's helped us with as simple as forms to collate information about the workers on the field, forms to collate information about as simple as maybe who are my designers and contractors, principal designers and principal contractors on my site. I've had to do all of that. So there's a lot. I've had to create Power Automate flows that can help me to actually report incidents, accidents, and things like that on the site. So these are beginner friendly, you know. I don't need to have gone head straight deep into Python. That almost made me lose my mind, you know. But then there's Python for data analysis, which I'm sure that the other presenters would actually talk to you a lot more about. Okay. So there are tech-enabled workplace safety innovations as well. This video right here is also, there's a video on the screen that would actually tell you how AI can detect hazards or the Internet of Things, but most importantly is this conversation right here is about you thinking, how can I impact the world with the knowledge that I have? How can we collaborate to ensure that, you know, we leave the world a better place? How can we collaborate to ensure that we leave the world safer? I ensure that I know that safety is my responsibility. Safety is everyone's responsibility. How can I communicate that with what I have in my hands, with the tech that I'm understanding, with the tools that I'm understanding, with the solutions I might be able to build? But how then can I impact the world with all that I have in my hands? Okay. Now I'll quickly run into the sustainability. Moderator, how are we doing on time?
You have 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought so, because I've got my timer on and it's okay. So very quickly, the sustainability connection, the greener and safer workplaces and technology. Now, one question I keep asking, what if we could reduce workplace risk, carbon footprints, home accidents and incidents all at the same time. And that's where smart buildings come in, right? We're using AI for a lot of things these days: energy efficiency, air quality, sustainable coding. That's something really big. How do we write cleaner, low energy consuming algorithms? Blockchain for ethical and transparent safety reporting. All of this come together for us to ensure we're not just throwing around buzzwords. We're not just talking sustainability. We're not just sitting and talking SDGs all the time, but then we're actively trying to ensure that sustainability connection. With everything that I'm doing, how do I remain green? You know, with everything that you're doing, with your tech, with your innovations, how do we ensure that we all remain green? Okay. So there are different innovations that you would find inspiring. Find one whilst on your journey, find it, and then let that inspire you to say, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what I want, how I want to bring my own innovation to play, right? And then one question I want to really ask you today is, how could you use tech to solve a safety problem? Think about it. Now, with all of the knowledge that you're going to be getting, with all of the impact, how can you use that tech to probably solve one safety problem? There are learning opportunities. Thanks to MumsWhoCode, there are free platforms to experiment with. You know, there are women-led coding communities just like this, and there are mentorship programs. But then it comes from you to say, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve with this? And if you do think that safety is something that you're called to, then this is your space, right? You may not have it all, you may not know it all, but there are mentors out there that are glad. I mean, in my space, in the occupational health and safety, I'm sure I'll be absolutely glad to have you think, you know what, can we create something? Can we create a tech that will solve a safety problem? Can we bring codes together to ensure this is done or that is done in the safety space? I'm glad to hear conversations like that. I'm happy to support it. And I'm sure that there are large communities that are also will be able and willing to support thoughts like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this. What's the one action that you take to explore the interconnection between digital technology and safety? So how can you possibly contribute to ensure that your own sphere, you know, the 2, 3 people, the 5 people, your home, your community is impacted, you know, by all that you are currently, the knowledge, the information, and all that you're currently taking in. How do you now, what action will you be able to take to explore that, to see that we can get an impact on the world around you? Okay. And then lastly, the future of safety is digital. Let's build it together. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. C. I hope I can call you Dr. C.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
All
fine.
right. Thank
That's
you so
fine.
much. And before this session, I don't think I've actually thought that, you know, technology is applicable to workspace, workplace safety.
Safety,
It's
yeah.
really amazing, you know, what we can learn, right? So we don't have so much time for questions, but I think we can take one.
Okay.
There is any, does anyone have any question? Okay, while we're waiting for question, I'm sure, I mean, you mentioned that we can connect with you. So how can we, you know, reach out to you after the session and connect with you?
Okay, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn. My name is Constance Ayose on LinkedIn. You can find me on there. On Instagram, I'm Dr. C4. On TikTok, is it TikTok? Trust me, I'm sorry. I don't follow following, but I think that LinkedIn, you would definitely find me there. So if you want, you can connect me. If you want to get me ASAP, you would definitely find me on LinkedIn. However, if you're an Instagram person, I'm there. It's Dr. C4. It will be great to connect with you. And then it's not TikTok, it's another one. It's Twitter. Yes, Twitter. On Twitter, I'm Dr. C Speaks. Yeah. But however, the best place you can always find me is LinkedIn. So if you need to connect with me, please feel free. I'm really, really, really big on mentoring others and trainings. So if you do find yourself in need of any health and safety trainings, I'm happy to support with that. E3 collectives as well. That's what we primarily do, health and safety trainings. And then, of course, women empowerment is also one of the things, women empowerment in career, in leadership, and in business as well. Okay, so, I mean, find me anywhere, somewhere, you'll find me. Just send me a message, it's okay.
Thank you. We're definitely going to find you. We have one other question. Can we get your slides?
My site.
Slides. Your
Slides. Oh,
presentation.
yes, absolutely. I think I've sent that. So please feel free to share with everyone, that needs it. If it would make an impact in the lives of any, great. I'm all for it. So yeah, feel free to share the slides, please.
All right. Thank you so much again, Dr. C.
Thank you
We're
very much.
happy to
Thank
have
you. I
you.
do appreciate. Thank you. It's great being here with you. And then we'll see someday. All right. You
Definitely,
take care.
definitely.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, people. If you have any more questions because of our time, you have to reach out to Dr. C on LinkedIn or on Twitter, but she's mostly active on LinkedIn. Right. So right now we're going to moving on to the next speaker. Hi, Jennifer. Can you please confirm that you're here? I'm trying to check.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
All right, so we're going to be getting started with the session. I'm just going to read your profile and introduce you, and you can take over. I'm also going to share your slides from
Yes,
my end.
please.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You wanted to say something?
Sorry. No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. Jennifer Pialu, I hope I pronounced that right, is a psychologist, writer, podcaster, mental health educator, and researcher whose work lies at the intersection of technology and psychology. She works with individuals over 25 years old who are feeling stuck, going through transitions, parenting, struggling with stress, depression, anxiety, grief, addictions, relationship problems, boundary issues, suicidal thoughts, feelings, and existential crisis. She also works with organizations as a mental health consultant to help them build and implement effective workplace wellness strategies for their people. Jennifer is the author of the book, How to Set Boundaries, the life-changing relationship enhancing manual for nice people who are tired of being disrespected. All right, I think you have mentioned like two things that I'm currently struggling with, so I'm really looking forward to this session. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Everyone, please, can we welcome Jennifer with comments, reactions? Let me know when you can see my screen, please.
All right. Thank you so much for that introduction, Peculiar. I want to, as you set up and share my slides, I want to just state that, first of all, for some reason, I've been having lots of electricity issues. Today, specifically, I do not know why. So in case I drop off at any point, please give me like 5 minutes to just get back on. I promise I will be back. It just might take a little bit of time, just switching from the internet, the Wi-Fi to mobile data. But other than that, I am very excited to be here. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I hope people can see the slides as you are setting them up. And yes, we'll be starting in just a short while. I want to say thank you also to the people who have shown up. I can see there's over 50 participants here. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. You could be anywhere in the world today, but you chose to spend this time with us. So I'm very, very grateful that you're here. And I hope that you will get some benefit out of this conversation, that this is going to be a great investment in your time and energy. As you've heard, I'm Jennifer Chalo. I am a counseling psychologist and a clinical psychologist. I am currently a doctoral student in clinical psychology. And my work and my career interest and my academic interest lie at the intersection of technology and mental health. And that's why this feels like the right place for me to be at on this particular day. I talk a lot about how technology impacts mental health, and I talk about how technology impacts our everyday life. And especially for us in Africa, because we are still grappling with accommodating all the things we're learning from the West about technology, all the advancements that the West is making. And somehow they get to end up on our continent without the same policies to safeguard them, without the same resources to make sure that people can access them safely. And we don't have enough information about how this technology is impacting us as Africans, us as Kenyans, for the Kenyans who are here, as Nigerians, for the Nigerians who are here, and everybody else from the rest of the continent. We don't have enough information about these things. And so what you will hear me speak about mostly today will be about how can you take care of yourself, even as you incorporate these technologies into your everyday life. I know when you hear this talk, you might think that I am anti-internet. I am not anti-internet or technology. If anything, I am very pro-technology. I am pro-technology with safeguards around it, not just pro-technology accepting everything as it is without really thinking about what exactly we are doing with it. So moving on swiftly, we can get started with the very first part of this conversation, and we need to understand the problems that are affecting us when it comes to technology. The current problem that we have in the digital space, and I know you'll relate to this if you are MumsWhoCode, that is literally a majority of your job, sitting in front of a computer every single day. You will notice that the one biggest issue that most people are struggling with is digital fatigue. Digital fatigue that is killing productivity, that is ruining your mental health, that is making it difficult for you to exist in this current digital world. And that is about to get even more digital with every advancement that we make. With the advent of AI and all these things, tech is becoming a big part of our everyday lives. Right now, I know I don't know if it's a common practice in Nigeria, but in Kenya, many restaurants are moving towards digital menus. You cannot go to a restaurant and just get a regular menu. You have to scan a QR code to get access to the menu. I don't know if that is a common practice where you are in this continent. Please let me know in the comments. I just want to see if we are all suffering in the same ways. So digital fatigue is a state of mental and physical exhaustion that is caused by excessive use of digital devices and screens. And right now, if just to get a pulse check, you can tell me in the comments, how many devices do you own? I know I have a laptop. I know I have a phone, a smartphone. I know I have a tablet that I use for other things. I don't know how many devices that you own. As you're telling me about the restaurants in your country that are using QR codes for you to access the menu, I can see somebody in the chat is saying that Lagos is very popular with using the digital menus, the scanning of QR codes. Thank you, Grace. How many devices do you own, if I may ask? Please tell me in the comments. I just want to see how many of us are exposed to these many devices. As we are saying, Comfort says that she has 3 devices. How many other people would like to tell us how many devices they own? I can see 2 for Faith. Zugwai has 1. Peculiar has 4. Mutanu has 3. We seem to have devices, more than 1 devices. A majority of us seem to have more than 1 devices. I can see people have 3, 2. Seems like 2, 3 is the number that is showing up a lot more, other than the person with 4 devices. And this is not something that is a unique. Yes, Peggy, you're right. Smartwatches, pods, phone, tablets, laptop, all those things. We are working with devices left, right, and center every single day. And so, of course, we're going to get digitally fatigued. If you're being honest, at some point, you're going to get tired of all the screens and all the devices. The thing about this digital fatigue is that overusing technology ordinarily will affect your mental health, in the sense that when you spend a lot of time on screens, both for work and for personal use, you are going to get physically tired, your eyes are going to get physically tired, and your mind is going to get tired. We are not built to be this exposed to so many screens at any given time. The intense screen time that we are experiencing right now, even right now, we are using these devices. Exactly, Catherine. That is very true. in the intense screen time it also comes with a lot of information overload. And I know I am not saying anything new with this. We know that right now the problem is not the lack of information. It is just that there's too much information. There's too much information that we're exposed to at any given time. And this can make it very difficult for us to even know what to concentrate on. And especially now for people who are MumsWhoCode, your work requires you to learn a lot of things about many different things for you to become good at the job that you do. So of course, you are going to be constantly exposed to technology. You're going to be constantly exposed to a screen. You're going to be constantly exposed to work-related things. And drawing that boundary between where does the work start and where does it end? Where does my personal life start and where does it end? And even now with the advent of working from home, your home office happens to also be your kitchen. Somebody mentioned in the beginning about you are cooking and you're also coding. Not a bad thing on paper, but I'm wondering about how you're able to stay mindful of what you're doing in the present. So when we bring these things to the forefront, we realize that technology is taking over big chunks of our lives. And that separation between work and life becomes very, very difficult. This constant connectivity that we have, it really blurs the time that we have for our personal experiences, for enjoyment with our family and friends, and it blurs the time that the line between where our work starts and where our work ends. And of course, now this leads to a lot of burnout, as you've said. This leads to the digital fatigue that we're talking about. This makes productivity difficult to achieve. It makes being able to focus on things very, very difficult. You find that it's very many people are struggling with anxiety and stress related to technology and the consumption of information. You have information overload. These are very, very common phenomena that are going on right now. People are decreasing their physical activity just because of the nature of technology at this time. I know with a smartwatch, the first idea is that I'm going to become more active if I get a smartwatch. That is something that we tell ourselves. And many people who buy smartwatches are like, yes, I want to get in my healthy era. I want to become more physical, go out there, take walks, close my rings. Those are all very good intentions. But then you also notice that all the other devices that you own are pulling you towards them and away from the health activities that you're hoping to achieve, even with the purchase of a smartwatch, right? So it's like the devices are working in conflict with each other. One of them is pulling you towards this side, but the other one is pulling you towards this other side. And they're all connected through the same technology that you're using to build your work and your life, right? So that can become a very difficult experience for most people. And something I wanted to mention is, on top of all this digital fatigue, is something that I am sure you've all heard about, which is the dopamine hits that happen when you are exposed to technology and social media and all the things that are related to the internet. And the problem that you hear most people speak about when it comes to the dopamine hits is that you become addicted. They say that you have all this dopamine going through your system, you become addicted to technology. But there is a less spoken about issue with dopamine, and dopamine specifically from these technological devices, beyond the addiction, which is still something that people are debating in the science world. The big part of it is that this exposure to too much dopamine in your system reduces your motivation, it reduces your capacity to focus, and it reduces your ability to learn and to form memories. That is something that is rarely spoken about, and I don't know why. Because in all these things that I've mentioned, motivation, focus, ability to learn, ability to form memories, you need dopamine. But then this disruption of your dopamine system inhibits your capacity to experience all these things that I've just mentioned. When your dopamine system is being dysregulated by technology, then your motivation goes down. Your ability to focus goes down. You cannot chase those big goals that you have because you do not have the dopamine that you need for you to chase those things. Your ability to learn, as a mom who is coding, a mom who codes, a mom who is planning to become a coder, a mom who has been coding for a long time, you find that learning new skills becomes very difficult. Forming new memories becomes very, very difficult. And it is all related to the dopamine system that is being dysregulated in your system through this technology and through all this digital burnout that we're talking about, this digital fatigue. So those are some of the things that are connected to digital well-being when it comes to our lifestyles right now. Those are some of the challenges that most people are struggling with. And I don't know if that sounds like something familiar to you. I don't know if that sounds like something you have experienced. I don't know if you have...
Sorry to continue. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Sorry?
Please, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you still see my screen?
I have to check. Yes, I can see your screen.
Am I on the right slide?
You on slide 2? Why it matters?
Why it matters? Okay.
Yes. Yes, why it matters. So we can move to that slide because that is exactly where I was going. And I like that you bring it up. So all these things that I have just mentioned, please tell me in the comments, in the chat box, are these things that you have experienced? They struggle with memories, they struggle with motivation, feeling demotivated, nothing really matters most of the time. You don't know what to do, you have a lot of anxiety. I don't know if these things are familiar to you and if you have experienced them related to your exposure to technology on an ongoing basis. If that is something you've experienced, please let me know in the chat. I want to see if these are things that that are reflecting in real life, or they're just things that you know theoretically. Catherine says this is quite familiar. Thank you so much, Catherine, for that comment. And I hope other people can tell us the experiences. Please feel free to use the chat, and we'll come back and read some of those comments that you put there. So why does it matter? Why does it matter that we talk about digital well-being? Why does it matter that we address well-being for techies just like you? Why does it matter that we talk about digital well-being for MumsWhoCode? And for anybody else who's here, who has somebody they know who is experiencing digital burnout? The reason that we need to talk about why the digital well-being, the reason that we need to address this particular issue is because, number one, if we don't talk about it, then we are burying our heads in the sand. We are pretending that there's no problem, yet there actually is a problem. The pie chart that you can see, is it a pie chart? The diagram you can see on your screen represents 52%, and I'm sure you're wondering 52% of what? 52% of tech workers report burnout, with many experiencing anxiety, depression, and chronic stress. These numbers are higher than in healthcare. And this is something that was spoken about by the Harvard Business Review in 2023. 2023 is just the other day. The reason why I put this up there was because if 52% of people who are working in tech are reporting that they are struggling with burnout, they are reporting that they're experiencing anxiety and depression and chronic stress, and we are not addressing it, then we are burying our heads in the sand. And if we don't address it, we are also pretending that one of the biggest platforms, one of the biggest inventions of humanity right now, the one that is building the future, we are pretending that it is not struggling, yet it actually is. If people are too burnt out to create the future that we are hoping to get into, then we are putting ourselves in a very precarious position. We are basically saying that the digital burnout that people are experiencing, and not just the tech workers, but people in general, we're basically saying that it doesn't matter if we are not actually addressing it. And that's why we have to talk about this issue. We have to talk about why people are digitally burnt out. We have to talk about what needs to be done, and we have to become proactive in actually doing something about it. 52% is a very big number. And it is, I am sure it is underreported in the sense that not everybody took the survey, right? And also, this is Harvard Business Review, so probably these numbers are mostly in the West. We are not talking about digital burnout in Africa. We are not talking about technological advancements in Africa. We are not addressing these issues from our context. So there's a lot that is being missed out. There's a lot of information that we could get about depression, about burnout, about chronic stress, and the anxiety that is related to technology. So it's important for us to have this conversation. Something that I want to mention is something called a context switching. And the reason I want to talk about context switching is because context switching is one of the most common practices that happens when you're working in tech and when you're working, let's say, for example, on your computer. How many times do you open your computer to work on let's say, a document, or you're writing a line of code or whatever, and then at the same time you find yourself switching to something different? You're switching to check your WhatsApp. You're switching to check your LinkedIn. 1 minute you're checking Slack, another minute you are checking your Instagram, because there's something that you've just remembered you needed to post yesterday that you did not post. And somehow you're moving from one app, one device, from one to the next, from one to the next. You are not sticking to one thing at a time. And imagine how difficult that can be if you're trying to work on something that is very, very important. You are, first of all, losing your focus. You cannot focus on one thing. That means you cannot do difficult work. If you cannot do difficult work that is needed to advance technology in Africa, because you're not just building for yourself, You're building for Africa. You're building at the frontier. You're at the cutting edge. You're context switching all the time. That becomes a serious problem. And that's why we need to talk about these things. If we don't bring them to the forefront, we continue, those of us who are struggling with this, continue thinking that we are struggling alone. But in reality, there's a lot of people who are struggling as well. If we don't talk about it, then we don't bring attention to it. If we don't bring attention to it, then we do not create solutions for it. And that continues to be a cycle. And as I said, if tech becomes the place where people are too burnt out to create, then tech also becomes the field where brilliance goes to die. People start associating being in tech with the one place that your mental health is going to suffer. And yet it does not have to be that way. There's a lot that can be done. So these are some of the things that I would like to bring to your attention so that you understand that I am sure I am not talking about something that is too foreign, something that is too new. I am sure some of us in this call have experienced these things. And if you have, please, again, put it in the chat. Let us know what exactly has been your experience with just technology in general. So now that we have spoken about that, now that we have addressed that specific point, let's talk about the quote that is on the screen. The best tech workers aren't those who are most connected, but those who are least distracted. The reason I put this quote here is to remind us that you cannot do difficult work when you are distracted. You cannot do important, difficult work when you are distracted. You cannot do important, difficult work by being connected to everything. There comes a point where you have to draw a line in the sand and be like, I need to focus on this important thing so that I can advance my career. I can't continue running around context switching from one device to another, context switching from one app to another, and never getting anything important done. And that is why it's important for us to realize that it is about connection, it is about limiting distractions and focusing and taking care of our mental health so that we have the capacity to actually stay focused. If we don't take care of mental health, then even the focus is lost entirely. So maybe we can move to the next slide. And peculiar, yes, this is a good place, yes. So as you can see the figure on the screen, it is screaming, and I know maybe we are assuming that now we are supposed to panic, and I encourage you to look at this and be like, no, we are not supposed to be panicking. This is just a cartoon. But for us, we have things we can do. This is a 2D cartoon that cannot do much. But for us, we can do something. There's a lot we can do. And what we can do is engage with technology differently. So let me explain what I mean by engaging with technology differently. What I mean by engaging with technology differently is that, number one, we need to change the way we think about technology. We need to change our relationship as a whole with technology and stop using technology as a second arm. Sorry, a third arm. We have two arms, most of us. For those who for technology to become an extra limb, we don't need to use technology as an extra limb. We need to use technology as a tool that we can use to make our work easier, not as a thing that becomes essential to and integral to our everyday lives. So when you change your perception of technology, when you stop thinking like that technology is the center of our world, when we decenter technology just a little bit and we try to focus on how can we use technology to enhance our work and use it as a tool, then the conversation changes to something entirely different. You are no longer at the mercy of technology. You are no longer at the mercy of what you get to do with your devices. If you change your relationship with technology in general and you start seeing it as a tool to be used to enhance your work, then that changes everything else that you're doing. Even the tools and the techniques that you learn after this become very different in their application. It's not just about learning, spending more time sleeping and taking care of your mental health for the sake of it. It is now, I need to spend more time away from technology so that when I come back to it, I'm coming back to it to use it to enhance my work. I am not coming back to it as a form of rescue for myself. So the first thing that I highly encourage all of us is to think about technology in a different light, to think about our relationship with technology and try to shift it from thinking that technology is the central thing in our lives. It really is not. It is one of the things in our lives. It is a tool that we can use, but it is not a master of our lives. Yeah. So that is the number one thing that I always encourage all of us to think about. And the second thing, of course, is to change our philosophy towards technology in general and embody philosophies that prioritize well-being and especially mental well-being. Because There is no health without mental health. That is just the bare fact. There is no health without mental health. You cannot function. You cannot do the things that you want to do. You cannot achieve the biggest goals you want to achieve if your mental health is not in the right place. So changing your philosophy to one where you are focused on well-being, you are focused on making yourself get to a place where you are healthy, and so that you can use technology as the tool that it is. That changes your relationship with technology. That is very, very key in understanding how we are going to end the digital burnout, or at least how we can take care of ourselves in the process. So other than those two big grand ideas, something else that I highly encourage people to do as they're taking care of their mental health well-being is slow tech days and daily tech breaks that they take on their schedule. And you schedule these things in. You don't wait for an opportunity to do them. You schedule them as part of your daily routine. So when we're talking about taking care of your mental health, when we're talking about digital well-being for you as a techie, for you as a mom who codes, I encourage you to create time in your schedule, like put it on the calendar that this specific time is my time away from technology. This is my time away to go and think, to go and be alive, to go outside and touch grass. I encourage you to schedule that in, because if you wait for the time when there's a break, when you wait for the time that you can squeeze it in, when you wait for the time that you get an opportunity, you never will. As you said, the devices are trying to pull you in every single time. And every one of these platforms is trying to pull you in so that you can spend more time on it. None of them wants to let you go. As you've had, I don't know if you've had the Netflix CEO said that their biggest competition is not other platforms, it is sleep. So you can imagine if a technology company is competing with sleep for your attention, then we have a serious problem. Right? And so there will never be an opportunity for you to just be. You have to create it. You have to fight for it. You have to schedule it in your calendar and be like, during this period of time, I am not going to engage with technology because I need a break. I need to take care of my mental health. I need time away from technology. I need time away from the devices. And that is the only way that you can fight for your time. Otherwise, it's not going to be given to you. Netflix is always going to be recommending another show you can watch, another episode that you can watch. YouTube is always going to be recommending another video you could watch. Instagram and TikTok is always going to be recommending another video you can watch after just with one scroll. Twitter is always going to be recommending something. So it's like a fight for our lives. It's literally a fight for our lives. It's a fight for our mental health. That's why you have to fight for it. You have to create the time for yourself. You have to force the time into the schedule. It becomes a non-negotiable. You don't get to bargain with it. Another thing that I encourage you to consider is to deliberately monotask. So we've just spoken about context switching. And the thing with context switching, the only way that you beat context switching is monotasking. There's nothing like multitasking. Multitasking is a myth. Multitasking is not an actual thing. The reality of multitasking is you are doing several things at a go, but none of them is getting done properly. So you're giving a small percentage of your energy and your mental health and your brain capacity to something, and then giving another part of it to another thing, and then moving from one thing to another thing. You're just jumping around basically, but that does not mean that you're going anywhere. So it's like think about multitasking like mark timing in place. It's like you're on a treadmill. You know how when you're on a treadmill, you're not going anywhere. You're just walking on the treadmill. It is stationary. It is in one place. You are walking on it in one position. But if you go outside and take a walk, you can make progress in that. You can move from one location to another location. And so you have to look at a context switching in that same context, in that same light, right? Think about how you can make progress by monotasking instead of multitasking and staying in place. Because none of the things that you're multitasking on is actually getting done. And the problem, as we've said with context switching, is that it just wastes your time. There's a lot of productivity lost because you're not giving anything your 100%, you're not focusing, and your brain learns that there's nothing to focus on. And so the next time that you need to focus on something that is very important, the next time you need to focus on a line of code that is required in the next 24 hours, you are unable to actually sit down and write that line of code. Because you're used to multitasking. You're used to moving around from one app to another. You're used to moving around from one device to another. You've never trained your mind to sit down for a moment and focus on one thing for an extended period of time. So your mind weakens, your willpower weakens, your capacity to focus weakens, and it becomes a cycle. And the next time that you try to focus, it becomes even harder because your mind does not know how to focus. And so this requires a retraining of the mind. This requires a rewiring of the mind. So with that said, I have more ideas that I would highly encourage you to think about, and I'm just going to run through them. Number one, of course, is no devices before an hour before bed. Make sure that you cut them out. Quality sleep. I know you've had this before. You have to sleep well. If you don't sleep well, everything else in your life suffers. Sleep is the number one mental health hack that I can give you, and you can walk away with from this conversation. Quality sleep, as I've said, consume long form content. Try to reduce the number of times that you're consuming this short form content. Again, it makes it difficult for you to focus if you're constantly distracted. Always remember that these platforms are making money out of your disconnection and out of the distraction that you are experiencing. So try to limit your distractions. Try to step away from these devices. Try to give yourself time between one task and another, and just focus and focus and focus. Force it if you can. So moving forward, as we end this conversation, I would like to hear about, I would like to leave you with a quote about that if you don't take control of your tech habits, someone else will, whether it's your boss, a tech company, or an algorithm. And I am saying this so that you know that this is not even a joke. As I've said, it's the fight for our lives. We need to be able to fight for our own mental health, and it is upon us. Nobody's going to give it to us. So once you understand that, it's going to become a little bit easier for you to change your relationship with technology. And with that said, I would like to end my presentation and take some questions or comments in the chat. In the next slide, you're going to see some information about who I am and what I do. This is my most current book, How to Set Boundaries. You can get it directly by scanning the QR code on the screen, and you can access it, and you can buy it, and you can read it and learn how to create boundaries with yourself, with the people in your lives, in your relationships, and also with technology. I made sure I included that chapter in there. How you can set boundaries with technology, a key important aspect of it all. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can connect with me on social media as Safe Space Arena. That is my business that I run, a mental health company, and you can check it out. And I am happy to stop at that point. And Peculiar, back to you if you have any questions or comments.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jennifer. So it's very, very insightful. I think I got one word, monotaxing. I mean, we'll probably be hearing multitasking and how we can superpower, especially for women. I mean, they said, oh, women, you don't have to multitask. But this monotaxing is really a game changer. And I think I'm going to, practice it more. You just focus on one thing at one time and, do other things at a later time. And what you said about, social media fighting for our time, we context switching. If you go to TikTok, there are always like countable content creators, taking your time. There are same as LinkedIn and on Twitter, and then there's work too. So there's a lot, and this is a very, very helpful session to help us, navigate our very, very busy lives, even though, we spend so much time actually, not doing something productive. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please, can you raise your hand? We can take the question, and we can, you can also drop it in the comments. So someone is saying link to your profile. Okay, I see that you have already dropped that. All right. I'm checking the comment to see if I will see any question. Okay, so yeah, we can connect with you on LinkedIn, and we also have, your book here. I think this is, if we want to buy this book right now, we can scan the QR code on the screen. And
yes, please.
Need to get the link to purchase, this book. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm not seeing any question, and I'm not seeing anybody raise their hands. So I'm sure if you have any questions, we're going to reach out to you directly, since we can now connect with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Peculiar, and thank you so much for everyone who showed up. As I've said, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate that you made it here, and I hope that you've gotten one thing that you can go and implement in your life in the next 24 hours. Please don't let this pass you just like that. Don't let it be another webinar. Please don't let it. So all the best, and thank you so much to MumsWhoCode. And I hope our paths interact once more in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam. That was a really insightful session. I learned a lot. As someone who works professionally, I have been working professionally in tech for more than 10 years. And a couple of years ago, I started paying more attention to my health because I realized that I was going through some things I couldn't explain, right? And it took me moments of reflection to identify what the actual problem was. And like you said, burnout is real, right? And we don't have that statistics. We don't have much data about it in this part of the world. The data that you have quoted, like you said, is from the other part of the world. But here we don't have, and I hope that someone will take up that task, take up that responsibility to do. We can do it as techies. It doesn't have to be someone from a different field to actually conduct a research to know how the use of technology, device, gadgets, and even the way that we go, the processes, how it's affecting our mental health and our well-being, right? So I'm so grateful for that session. It was very, very insightful. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jesurobo, and I agree with you on the part of not having enough data. I think that is the challenge in Africa, that we do not have enough data about very many things, and we are always quoting things from the West, which I'm not saying that the West is not struggling. I am saying that we need to talk about Africa from an African context. And I like that you mentioned about the research, because that is literally what my PhD is surrounded by, talking about technology and finding out this information that we're talking about, this research that we're talking about. Those are the things that part of my PhD is focused on, and I can't wait to share the results when they come out, and also the surveys as well, just sharing them so that all of Africa can really be open to understanding that just because the West has implemented things does not mean that we need to take them as revolution for Africa. Africa can implement its own resources and its own ideas in ways that are contextually relevant to us.
Yes.
We don't have to just take it up. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I'd like to say that as MumsWhoCode, we are very keen on research. It's not just tech, because we understand the value of research in building technology. And so we'll be very happy to promote your survey to see that you can get perspective from this part of Africa, right? To make your research and your outcome more robust one. So please feel free to share the survey with us.
Asante sana. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you. I'll hand off to Peculiar. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Do we have our next speaker in house?
Okay, so the next session, maybe I'll just come in here. Her LinkedIn will be shared in the chat. Thank you, Jen K. Okay, so the next we're moving to a different session entirely, and we are going on to the breakout session where we'll have different rooms. We have 4 rooms, right? And in those 4 rooms, we will be having presenters make their presentations on 4 different areas, right? We understand that you have choices and you have interests, right? And so for those who are interested in cybersecurity, I would say you join Breakout Room 1, where we will have Tanya speak on cyber defenders, mastering security insights with Kibana and Splunk. For those who are curious or interested in product management or product development, you join Breakout Room 2, where the session will be on how women in product can build and master technical skills. So if you are new to product development or product management, or you are interested, you're curious about it, I think you should join that session. Now, the Breakout Room 3 will be for Miriam. Miriam will be speaking on the topic, You Rest, You Rust. Right? Miriam is a mom who codes, and she recently got into coding, and now she's a freelance front-end developer at FlexiSAP. I think that session is going to be interesting. So please join if you're interested in coding. I see Earlier, I saw two participants say that they recently started learning how to code. So please join that session. And then the fourth room will be for breaking barriers, how women can leverage UX for impactful tech careers. So UX is user experience design. And everything we see on our screen is, and everything, the way we interact with our mobile application is actually the user experience. And there are people who actually build these experiences for you, right? So if you are interested in that, so please join breakout room 4. So in a couple of minutes, I will be opening the breakout rooms, and I'd like to encourage the speakers to make their introductions when they join the rooms. I'm trying to do that on my mobile. Okay, so I can't find. Hold on, please. I'm unable to find the breakout rooms on my mobile. So let me check on my PC. Okay, it's right here. So I'm opening all the rooms, and I'll be sharing my screen. I'm not going to be assigning. I'll just like you to join any of the rooms that you are interested in. So I'll put a picture up now, so you'll be able to tell which room to go into. Okay, yeah. So here you can see which room to go into. Please let me know if you're able to join. If you're unable to join, please let me know. You should see your breakout rooms. You should see something on your screen that says join breakout rooms. It's right on your screen. It says join breakout rooms. And so just click on that.
Hi, Agama. It's not
Yes,
very
hi.
visible yet.
Sorry?
It's not visible yet.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
breakout.
but it's
I don't know.
open. So maybe what I can do is, if you can drop in the chat which of the rooms you want to join. You can't see any, but I can see it on my phone. That's strange.
You might want to check the settings or something, maybe to allow participants to join.
Okay, options. Okay, okay, okay.
Yes, we can see it now.
You can
Thank
see it
you.
now. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for that.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Please, how long is the breakout session?
You have about 45 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all.